Golden State's front office has been operating with urgency this offseason. With Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler all aging but still competitive, there's a strong push to maximize the next couple of years. At the center of many rumors is the question, can they upgrade around the current core enough to contend again, or will they risk rerouting parts of their young core, especially Jonathan Kuminga? In ambitious trades, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the big dream move. One of the biggest names thrown into Warriors trade talk is Giannis Antetokounmpo. The idea of pairing him with Curry and Butler is tantalizing for many fans and analysts. Reports suggest the Warriors have long coveted Giannis, viewing him as the ultimate complement to an aging Curry, elite two-way size, dominant defensive presence, mismatch nightmare in the paint. However, insiders caution this is extremely unlikely in the near term. The Bucks reportedly are not entertaining offers, have made no indication Giannis has requested a trade saying to the Warriors or to any team. For Golden State to pull it off, they would need to include prime assets, Kuminga, draft picks, perhaps others, plus take on salary or undesirable contracts. And given their own payroll constraints, they may not have enough trade capital without seriously hurting depth. In short, Giannis remains a dream scenario more than a realistic one, unless something dramatic changes in the Bucks' internal situation or Giannis himself demands it. Josh Giddey and Al Horford, veteran targets plus roster balance. Another rumor track involves Josh Giddey and Al Horford. The Warriors are reportedly eyeing veteran frontcourt help to compensate for the wear and tear on Green, Butler, etc., and to bolster defensive rebounding, interior versatility, and locker room leadership. Al Horford, still a serviceable veteran big, is often mentioned. As for Giddey, his recent contract situation with the Bulls has thrown off balance across the league. His 4-year, $100 million deal in Chicago now serves as a benchmark for restricted free agents, including Kuminga. The Warriors may view Giddey as an ideal backcourt partner with Curry, someone who can handle creation duties, let Curry play off ball more, relieve some burden. But getting him may require creative structuring or sign-and-trade work. Jonathan Kuminga, key piece or trade asset? At the heart of many of these scenarios is Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga is a restricted free agent this offseason. The Warriors have reportedly offered a 2-year, $45 million contract with a team option for the second year. Kuminga's camp, however, desires a more lucrative and longer-term deal, one that gives him a bigger role, more touches, more offense. This holdout or negotiation impasse has ripple effects. It delays the Warriors in filling out their roster with veterans like Al Horford. It raises the question, if the Warriors think they might go after someone like Giannis or Giddey in a trade, Kuminga becomes part of the currency. He is one of their few young assets with upside that other franchises value. So is Kuminga likely to leave? The reports suggest the most probable outcome, for now, is that he will take the qualifying offer, which he is strongly considering, and stay with Golden State for the upcoming season. It gives him the chance to prove himself, and gives the Warriors flexibility. But if the opportunity arises, a sign-and-trade could happen. Possible scenario maps. 1. Warriors go all-in for Giannis. They trade Kuminga, some draft picks, perhaps other young pieces and part of their salary cap. They move big pieces, maybe Draymond or others, to make space. The roster is retooled around Curry/Butler/Giannis for a short window. 2. Mid-tier upgrades plus internal development. Warriors decide Giannis isn't feasible, instead aim to sign veterans like Horford, retain Kuminga via qualifying offer or shorter deal, focus on depth, defensive rebounding, perimeter defense, etc. 3. Trade for Giddey plus send out Kuminga. A compromise. Bring in a younger guard who can share playmaking duties, use Kuminga as trade asset to make payroll and roster balance work. Assessing likelihood. The Giannis trade path is the least likely of those listed. Bucks seem reluctant to move him. Demands will be steep. Warriors would have to give up too much, and possibly sacrifice future flexibility. The Giddey plus veteran big route is more plausible. It depends on whether negotiations with Kuminga push them to find better alternatives and whether the Warriors can make contracts align. Kuminga staying under a qualifying offer seems like the baseline scenario, especially since no better long-term contract seems likely at this moment given the market and Warriors' cap situation. So, in summary, everything points to a jam-packed offseason filled with rumors, but the Warriors' most realistic path may be modest improvements rather than a blockbuster move like Giannis. Kuminga's contract standoff is central. Whether he stays, under what deal, or whether he becomes trade leverage, it likely decides how big or small Golden State's ambitions can be. Veterans like Al Horford may come in as auxiliary pieces. Giddey could be pursued, especially if bigger stories stall. But at this the story of the Golden State Warriors at this moment is not just about basketball games. It is about legacy, money, time, and the weight of expectations. At the heart of it all stands Jonathan Kuminga, a young forward with explosive talent, and Stephen Curry, the face of a dynasty that changed the NBA forever. Their paths are connected, yet their battles are different. One is fighting for his future, the other is fighting against time. Jonathan Kuminga enters the 2025 offseason with confidence, but also with frustration. Negotiations with the Warriors have dragged on endlessly. The team has offered him 2 years at $45 million, with a team option for the second year. To Kuminga and his camp, this feels insulting. Around the league, other young players are signing bigger and longer contracts. Josh Giddey, for example, secured a $100 million deal in Chicago. Kuminga's representatives point to that contract and ask, why should Jonathan accept less? The Warriors insist they are protecting their flexibility, their salary cap, and their long-term plan. Each meeting between the two sides ends without progress. As the headlines swirl, Steph Curry remains calm on the surface but thoughtful underneath. At 37 years old, he has seen it all: championships, MVPs, heartbreaks, and triumphs. He is still one of the most dangerous players in the league, but he knows his window is closing. While the media focuses on Kuminga's contract, Curry is being honored back home in North Carolina. Davidson College and the Department of Transportation decide to rename Exit 30 on Interstate 77 after him. To the world, it is a symbolic gesture. To Curry, it is deeply personal. He remembers driving that road as a boy, never imagining his number would someday become part of the map. But legacy does not erase the pressure of the present. Training camp is only weeks away. If Kuminga does not accept the qualifying offer of $7.9 million, his future will hang in limbo. Rumors of a sign-and-trade spread quickly. Some fans believe the Warriors should move on and build around veterans. Others argue that Kuminga's talent is too valuable to lose. Inside the locker room, teammates whisper. Draymond Green questions whether Kuminga truly wants to be part of the dynasty. Klay Thompson tries to stay out of the drama, but even he feels the uncertain. The story intensifies as media day arrives. Cameras flash, microphones crowd into faces, and sound bites are captured for endless debate shows. Kuminga forces a smile, saying all the right words, but his eyes tell another story. Curry stands beside him, supportive but distant. He knows the young forward is fighting for respect, just as he once fought for recognition at Davidson. Yet Curry also knows the reality of the business. The team must think about more than one player. Meanwhile, the season inches closer. The Warriors return to practice, and the court becomes both synced. Then comes deadline day. The clock ticks louder with each passing hour. Will Kuminga accept the offer? Will the Warriors budge? Will a surprise trade reshape everything? Tension fills the Chase Center offices. Outside, fans hold signs. Some read, "Pay Kuminga." Others shout, "Trust the dynasty." The debate has become bigger than basketball. It is about identity. Are the Warriors still a team of the future, or are they clinging to the past? At last, Kuminga makes his decision. He signs the qualifying offer. 1 year, $7.9 million. It is not the contract he dreamed of, but it keeps him on the floor in Golden State. Reporters rush to break the news. Some call it a short-term victory for the Warriors. Others see it as a ticking time bomb. Next summer, the same battle will return, fiercer than before. Steph Curry, meanwhile, takes the floor for yet another season opener. Before the game, he is honored again, this time for his career achievements. The arena roars as fans chant his name. For a few minutes, all the noise of contracts and negotiations fades away. Curry smiles, lifts his hands, and the crowd erupts in gratitude. But he knows, deep down, that time is running out. He has at least 2 more years under contract, but each one feels precious. The Golden State Warriors have always been a franchise that blends youth with experience, speed with wisdom, and ambition with legacy. In the summer of transition, as the team balanced its future around Jonathan Kuminga and the final years of Stephen Curry's greatness, a surprising arrival reshaped the conversation. Al Horford, the veteran center, chose to wear the blue and gold. At 39 years old, Horford was no longer the explosive athlete who once patrolled the paint for Atlanta. But what he carried with him was something Golden State desperately needed: experience, calmness, and the ability to anchor a locker room filled with pressure and noise. His reputation as a leader stretched across the league. He was the player who spoke little but said everything with his actions. He defended, he passed, he spaced the floor with his shooting. And most importantly, he never complained. The Warriors, coming off seasons of turbulence and inconsistent health, saw in Horford the perfect bridge. He was not arriving to score 20 points a night or to dominate the highlight reels. He was coming to give Curry and Draymond a partner who understood sacrifice, timing, and the value of winning. He was coming to teach Kuminga and the younger Warriors that greatness is not built only on talent, but on patience and discipline. The narrative of Horford's journey to Golden State began quietly. After years in Boston, where he nearly reached the mountaintop, whispers started that the Celtics were moving younger, faster, and preparing for life beyond their veterans. Horford, still productive, wanted one last chance at a championship. Golden State offered not only that chance but also a system that valued his unique skills. The decision was natural. As he walked into the Chase Center for the first time, cameras captured him smiling softly, shaking hands with Curry, hugging Thompson, and exchanging respect with Draymond Green. In that moment, it was not about age, contracts, or statistics. It was about connection. The Warriors had added a piece that could steady their storm. On the court, Horford's presence was immediately felt. He set screens with precision, freeing Curry for open threes. He stretched defenses with his shooting, forcing opponents to respect him beyond the arc defensively. He brought structure, always in the right place, always communicating, always making the game slower for his teammates. His numbers were modest, but his impact was immeasurable. Off the court, his voice carried weight. When younger players grew frustrated with minutes, he reminded them of patience. When the locker room tension rose around Kuminga's contract, he emphasized unity. When Curry spoke of legacy and time, Horford nodded with the understanding of a man who had walked the same path. The media, at first skeptical of his age, quickly shifted their tone. Headlines changed from "Warriors sign aging Horford" to "Horford brings balance to Golden State." Analysts noted that the team looked calmer, smarter, more connected. And fans, once nervous, began to see the veteran not as a replacement, but as an addition that amplified everything the Warriors already had. In the end, Horford's arrival was not about rewriting the dynasty. It was about extending it. It was about giving Curry the space to chase one more ring, giving Kuminga the example of professionalism, and giving the franchise one last reminder that greatness is not only found in youth, but also in wisdom earned over years of sacrifice. Ladies and gentlemen, basketball fans across the globe, welcome to one of the wildest stories in recent NBA history. Today we are diving deep into the breaking news that has sent shockwaves through the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo and Josh Giddey are reportedly heading to the Golden State Warriors in a blockbuster trade that could completely reshape the balance of power in the NBA. This is not just another off-season rumor. This is the kind of news that makes analysts, fans, and even rival players stop what they're doing and wonder, what does this mean for the future of the league? In the next 2 hours, we're going to break this story down from every possible angle: who wins, who loses, and what it all means for the Warriors, for Giannis, for Giddey, and for the NBA as a whole. Chapter 1: Giannis Antetokounmpo's Journey, approximate 15 minutes. Giannis Antetokounmpo, also known as the Greek Freak, is not just a basketball player, he is a global icon. Born in Athens, Greece, to Nigerian parents, his story is one of perseverance, resilience, and transformation. From selling goods on the streets of Athens as a young boy, to becoming a two-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and NBA champion, Giannis embodies the dream that hard work and dedication can truly pay off. But even greatness has its limits. Over the past couple of seasons, despite his dominance on the floor, the Milwaukee Bucks have struggled to stay on top. Injuries, coaching changes, and stiff competition have made Giannis question whether Milwaukee can continue to build a championship-caliber roster around him. That little seed of doubt has grown, and it may have opened the door for one of the most shocking trades in recent memory. Chapter 2: Josh Giddey's Rise, approximate 10 minutes. Now let's talk about Josh Giddey, the young Australian playmaker who has quickly become one of the most intriguing guards in the league. Drafted by the Oklahoma City Thunder, Giddey has shown flashes of brilliance, elite passing, incredible court vision, and a natural feel for the game that can't be taught. He may not yet be a superstar, but at only 21 years old, he's got the potential to become a cornerstone for any franchise. For the Warriors, a team known for ball movement, spacing, and high IQ basketball, Giddey's skill set is a perfect match. Pairing him with a veteran squad and surrounding him with championship experience could accelerate his development in ways OKC simply couldn't provide right now. Chapter 3: The Warriors Situation, approximate 15 minutes. The Golden State Warriors have already cemented their place in NBA history. With 4 championships in the Steph Curry era, they've built a dynasty built on skill, chemistry, and a revolutionary style of basketball. But time is catching up with them. Steph is in his mid-30s, Klay Thompson has battled through injuries, and Draymond Green, while still impactful, is not the same player he was in 2015. Management has been caught between two timelines: continue competing for championships with their aging stars, or develop young talent like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Trading for Giannis and Giddey is the boldest possible answer to that question. It signals that Golden State is going all in, combining present dominance with future potential. When the news first hit, social media went absolutely crazy. Warriors fans celebrated like they'd just won another ring, while fans of rival teams voiced frustration, anger, and disbelief. Analysts immediately began comparing this potential roster to some of the greatest teams ever assembled. Imagine it: Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Josh Giddey, and Draymond Green on the same floor. Add in role players like Andrew Wiggins or Kevin Looney, and suddenly the Warriors are not just contenders, they're overwhelming favorites. Some commentators, however, warned against getting too excited too fast. Trades of this magnitude take time to finalize, and there are always risks. Will the chemistry work? Can Giannis adapt to the Warriors' free-flowing style? Will Giddey thrive under the pressure of playing with legends? These are the questions everyone is asking, and we'll be unpacking them in detail. Welcome back, basketball fans. Today, we dive into a fascinating story that has been brewing quietly but now stands front and center in the Golden State Warriors' future plans. The focus? Jonathan Kuminga, the young athletic forward who has shown flashes of brilliance but still hasn't signed a new contract with the Warriors. Why the hesitation? What's holding both sides back? And more importantly, what does this mean for the team as they head into the new season? Over the next 2 hours, we're going to unpack everything. From Kuminga's journey so far, to the financial and basketball factors in play, and finally to what leading NBA pundits are saying about the Warriors' chances in the upcoming season. Jonathan Kuminga is not just another young player. Drafted by the Warriors in 2021 with the 7th overall pick, he came into the league with the reputation of being one of the most athletic forwards in his draft class. Standing at 6 feet 7 inches with elite strength and explosiveness, Kuminga has the physical tools to be a two-way force in the NBA. But playing for the Warriors hasn't been easy for him. Unlike other lottery picks who immediately get the keys to their team, Kuminga had to fit into a championship roster built around Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. That meant limited minutes, inconsistent roles, and the constant pressure of competing for titles instead of developing slowly. So why haven't the Warriors given Kuminga a new deal yet? There are several reasons. 1. Uncertainty about his ceiling. While Kuminga has shown flashes of being an elite scorer and defender, he hasn't consistently put it together. The Warriors want to see if he can sustain high-level play across a full season. 2. Financial constraints. Golden State already has one of the most expensive payrolls in NBA history. With Steph, Klay, and Draymond still under big contracts, and Andrew Wiggins locked in as well, adding a major extension for Kuminga could push them deeper into luxury tax territory. 3. Timeline conflicts. The Warriors are still built around veterans chasing championships now, while Kuminga represents the future. Management has to decide, do they commit to him long-term, or keep their flexibility in case a trade opportunity arises? 4. Market leverage. By waiting, the Warriors can see how Kuminga performs